Facebook, YouTube. We are live inside of the press box for another edition of Political Street Talk. Y'all don't all run in here at one time. Everybody don't rush in here, but we got a great show in store tonight. VIP guest in the building, by the way. And just give me a minute, man. My co-host John is on the way in too. That's your water right there?
You need one?
No. I mean, yes.
Look at what it is, mine.
Yes. Thank you. Oh. Y'all get on in here. As Black History Month winds down, I want to know what y'all did for Black History Month that you ain't never did before. Or we just go through the motions.
Oh, they look so much better.
We just go through the motions and cry. Because we only get 28 days. What y'all gonna do? Here come the energy back in now. Here come the energy y'all been waiting on. I'm just Robin. Batman just walked in the door, y'all.
What up, dog?
Y'all hear Batman's in the building.
We live? What up, Political Street Talk family? Hey, y'all. Today we got an excellent show for y'all, man. We're going to talk to y'all today about some real talk, man. Stuff that we've been needing to talk about in our communities. And over the whole continent, man, we need to talk about some of the stuff that we're going to talk about today, man. We're going to get into the Jeffrey Epstein files. We're going to get into it's a new strand of flu going around. All types of stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? But before we get into all that, though, bro, how you been?
Great, great, man. Busy on the go, on the run. Like I said, I'm late today. I'm usually up here before you get here. So, yeah, that's how it's been, bro. Ripping and running all day.
Man, you know what I'm saying? You looking good, man. Got your new Ray-Bans
I
on.
do, man. I got these metal glasses on. So, yeah, I'm trying to catch something. I know what y'all doing. Y'all gonna try to turn your head and I'm gonna catch you. I'm gonna catch you with these glasses on. Trust me. I'm gonna catch you.
And Ray-Ban too, man. Look out. We Political Street Talk rocking y'all out here, man. Y'all gonna have to go on and send us that endorsement check. You know what I'm saying? Cause bro looking good in them Ray-Bans, man. I'm gonna have to give me a pair of them joints too.
Absolutely.
But let's see who we got in here before we jump this off, man.
Man, I don't know, man. They done jumped in here tonight, man. Shout out to the Parliament. Thank y'all for tuning back in. Again, what's today? The 19th? Today is the 18th.
18th.
Okay, February 18th, 2026. Yeah, we're finna pop off Pisces season. Just a minute.
Man, listen, y'all. It's going down today. Let me sit up here. Y'all see me. It's going down today, man. We got Mr. Danny Pollard in the building. This man been out here putting it down for the community, man. You know what I'm saying? Putting in work. And he gonna come up here today and bless us with his presence. And we're gonna get to some good topics. We're gonna also, man, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Reverend Jesse Jackson. He passed away, so we're gonna honor him. And
yeah,
it's Black History Month, so it's going down on Political Street Talk today, man. I'm telling y'all, man. But shout out to Sherino ladies too, man. I went out and covered the Sherino and Tenahall girls by district game in Center, Texas. Shout out Center, Texas too, man. They got a new stadium out there, bro, and it's dope. It looked like a little Lufkin. Man, hey, everybody doing something except for Laneville, y'all. So y'all make sure y'all tap back in with that school burn, because my little old po town ain't cutting it, man. We need some money so we can look good like everybody else. But Sereno pulled it out, game over Tenahall, you know what I'm saying? So hey, Sereno, y'all keep doing y'all thing, man. They got some tall girls down there up under that goal, and they know what to do. They don't do no extra shit.
Where is this at? Where is this town?
Sereno is a little town in between Nacogdoches and San Augustine.
Okay, there.
Yeah, right smack dab in the middle, man. You know what I'm saying? And Tennehouse, of course, you know what that's for. That's what we went down a couple tournaments. But it looked like we got a few people.
Yeah, man. Shout out, man, to the Reverend Johnny Johnson, my uncle, your honorary uncle. You know what I'm saying? Political street talk pastor, man.
Okay, but let's try to figure the people. We got Nicole Johnson watching this name also.
Ornisha Howard, Amara,
Mike Caldwell, Derek Burge. What's up, bro?
Yeah,
Mike Prado, Con Witcher, Quinn Witcher, Glenda Lee.
You said Witcher?
Witcher. Yeah.
I'm killing them Witchers, man. Yeah.
Quinn, Rashad. Yeah,
the Ball, the Witchers, the Reese. You know what I'm saying? The Grays. They're my people.
But
the Humphreys.
To the people watching, man, thank you. We can't do this without you. But if you would give us a share, we're trying to reach as many people as we can. It's going down in here today, man. We got some topics to talk to y'all about, man. But what you think? Jump it out?
Let's do this.
I want to welcome you to another round of Political Street Talk with John Ross,
Billionaire Boy,
and Billionaire Boy, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, this shit has already been a crazy year. You know what I'm saying? It's starting off wow. You know what I'm saying? But the reason why I say, man, we're going to have a dope show today, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going on in the world. And I haven't even talked to my co-hosts about this topic that I'm finna jump straight into.
Off the rip?
Going to off the rip. Because it can't wait. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Y'all, like I'm having a little energy with it because it's something that we need to know, but it's also at the same time some shit that's detrimental to all of our health. And not knowing ain't gonna save you from this shit. So we finna jump into it right here on Political Street Talk to let y'all know, man, it's a new strand of the flu going around.
Oh, wow.
And it's taking lives and it's hitting home right here, bro. Okay, so I just left, man, talking to my cousin, man. Lewis Walton, his wife passed away, Crystal Walton. And most folks wanted to know, like, damn, what happened? You know what I'm saying? Because just follow me here. 42, 43-year-old woman, healthy, no problems. Not only just a 42, 43-year-old woman, a wife, mother of 2 kids, little daughter just went to the Valentine dance. Little son, the week before last, they went to a volleyball tournament in Ruston. Come home, the kids were sick. Pick them up from school. Just imagine from Thursday to Monday, you pass away with this flu. And all they can tell you is it's a new flu type A. You know what I'm saying? And then we just lost another brother in Carthage. I'm not saying that these two are connected, but damn it sound like it. He was a referee. He refereed some games and he said his chest hurting and he go home and pass away, man. These are people that we see around all the time. You know what I'm saying? But just like that, they gone and ain't nobody saying, well, damn, what's going on? But we do know now, to the Walton and the Lewis family, my condolences. They're my peoples, man. You know what I'm saying? It's hitting kind of hard because she had babies, you know what I'm saying? But all this come from traveling to the volleyball tournaments and people getting sick, man. Just imagine you coming down with a flu and you healthy like we is now, and then it's like we pass away. You feel me? So it's some serious shit going on out there. And with this Trump administration, it hits because I was telling y'all the last time this man was in that COVID hit, he told folks to drink bleach. And I ain't forgot that shit, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to have to be mindful of that when you're going around here now, man. It's like you got an administration that's not going to say, okay, it's a problem. I'm just going to let you keep doing what it is you're doing.
It ain't never been an administration that what you saying wasn't a thing. Not just this administration. Every administration, we gonna get a new virus, a new flu. Like me personally, I take it with a grain of salt. It's very unfortunate we lose lives, but the government, this is like it like they play out their playbook. Swine flu,
I get what you're saying. I get it.
mosquito flu.
I get it. I get it wholeheartedly. But at the same time, at least they had something in place to act like they were cured. You know what I'm
I ain't
saying?
never seen it.
Well, yeah, they used to have a whole department specifically for this mass outbreaks and stuff. That's the first thing Trump did was fired all them folks.
But the thing about it is, they put the flu out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, it's the government game. It's like, it's typical government game.
Okay. I'm gonna say he right on that, but whether it's a government game or not, this shit is really harming us. So at least by us saying, okay, hey, listen, man, when you at these games, bro, wash your hands. Dap them niggas up instead of shaking their hands. What's wrong with that? We used to have that part at least. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, there's some shit out here they kid. You remember when they said H1N1? We was notified of it. The point I'm trying to get to. We ain't even notified now. It's just you hear about some shit and it's like, dang.
But like, where's the medical information that if one person gets sick and dies, how can where is this new flu coming from one thing? Like, I need more information.
You wouldn't have no kind of goddamn information if I didn't just say something. That's why it's important that people say something.
Okay, check me out. Absolutely. Now, with that information, what I won't do is it'll let it affect me in any kind of way with fear or how I'm gonna live my life, because now I don't know what's going on. But if I just hold on to that, I may be like, it's a new thing, a new virus. I can't give you no hands. Man, if I'm like me personally, and I'm only speaking for me, man, when it's my time to die, I'm dead. I don't care if I'm a vegan, a vegetarian. I don't care if I'm taking 72 vitamins. I don't care if I'm drinking alkaline water. When God says your time, your ass out of here, man. So so it's just me though, but it's just like, damn, here we go again, bro. Like, and I want to ask this here too. Like, do we know? I gotta ask, when people just die like this and we don't really know, I'm gonna be like, did you get the COVID shot? I want to know if you got that COVID shot.
My thing is, regardless if you got it, all of that, this, that, or the third.
I'm with you.
If it's happening, somebody need to let people know that it's happening.
You're 1,000% right.
So it's like, that's what I'm trying to do to y'all out here, man, just to let y'all know it's happening, because it's a lot of sick people. And it really touched home to me because I'm a barber. Motherfuckers be like, I didn't go to work today, so I go get a haircut.
But I'm sick.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm sick. Or it'd be like, damn, why little man ain't in school? Oh, I got him out early because he's sick. Why you bring this little sick motherfucker?
See, that's what the shop closed right there.
You know
That's
what
why
I'm
I'm closing my shop right there.
It happens, you know what I'm saying? A motherfucker will be getting a haircut, blowing their nose, you know what I'm saying? It happens, but I'm just saying, y'all.
You got to have a hell of sidebar. Boy, you got to have a hell of an immune system.
Hey, man, when I first started cutting hair, I stayed sick.
For real?
Hell yeah.
So your immune system really strengthened as you was around these.
Yeah.
That's science.
But y'all, my mission right now is just to let y'all know and be aware of that. Because once again, I'm talking about a young lady, man, that relatively healthy that we know of, no problems, man. It's
local.
And kids get sick and she gets sick, and that's what it was.
I will say condolences to the lady, the sister, the mother that lost her life, and the brother in Carthage. And I hope we can find what's really going on with the illness, man.
So, like I said, I'm not saying 100% that they connected, but you better start being aware. You know what I'm saying? Like bro said, when it's your time, it's your time. But I will tell you this: if you get that damn car up to 120 miles an hour and don't slow your ass down to this red light, your chances are gonna be sped up. a lot. You know what I'm saying?
You're
So
going up yonder to be with the Lord. Try it.
hey, I hope that's what you be with. But you know what I'm saying? Y'all, I just had to say that, man, to get that off my chest, man. And once again, condolences to the family in these troubled times. But to the other people, man, stay vigilant, man. Stay up on this. And if you feeling like something ain't right, now ain't the time to act like, oh, it's just a little cough. Make sure you straight. Like it's some shit in there, you know.
Start to take your supplements, you know what I'm saying? Start fasting. I've been telling y'all about fasting, you know what I'm saying, for well over a year and a half now, you know what I mean? So what we put into our bodies is what we put into our bodies is just as important as what they might inject us with or send down through chemicals or whatever. So
Yeah, I agree with that. For real, for real.
chemtrail, whatever they doing to us, man. They just trying to keep us sick. So we fighting to stay alive. They trying to kill us.
But to the people in the parliament, man, y'all know anything about that or anything before we get into our special guest?
In the chat, what y'all got in the chat? Anybody else heard anything about this new one? They drop a new flu like a Madden. Every year they got a brand new Madden. They got a new flu out.
It's going around at Malachi School. His friend's been sick with it. I forgot what he called it.
Ebola, swine flu, H1N1, bird flu. Hey man, what is that? Monkey flu.
Whatever they name them motherfuckers, they is powerful, and y'all better try to stay away from them. You know what I'm saying? As far as you can, man. You got to do the Heisman, you know. But hey, man, if we ain't got nothing, man, we gonna get on.
Yeah, let's kick this part off.
Hey, y'all, man. I want to introduce our special guest, man. You know what I'm saying? The dude has been doing his own thing. He's a content creator. And y'all, he ain't like us. We be freestyling every Wednesday, man. Come to y'all to give y'all some news y'all can use, man. This brother right here, he got some books over there, man. He done thought this shit out all the way through, man. You know what I'm saying? He is through and through. And y'all, I want to welcome up Mr. Danny Pollard, man. You know what I'm saying? To the stage. Come on up here with us, bro.
Yes, sir.
How you doing? First of all, I got two things for you here. One of my books, Food Heaven, one of my books, Rooftop Deep.
Oh,
Okay, that was Essence bestseller, and that was the next book I wrote.
You heard him?
oh, Lord.
Back when Essence was doing that kind of stuff, but they were black owned back then, actually had a magazine.
Hold up, y'all. And it's already been autographed.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Man, you know what, man? I'm gonna be 1,000% honest with you, man. I'm gonna make sure I go on and start me an actual book collection now, man. I got broke books and a
Come on
couple
now.
others. I got
Come on
my
now.
Bishop Guillory book and a few others, man. But my book stack ain't even one row of it. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm honest. But I'm gonna read this right here, and I'm gonna give y'all a full review of this book.
We gonna review
We gonna give a
Yeah.
full review of this book. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
I got about 70 something others on Amazon. So look up DT Pollard and you can find them.
Oh, stop. You got 70 other books?
70 plus. Yeah.
Oh man.
So that's why I'm doing, content creation. I'm Danny Pollard. I'm from the local area. Okay. Um,
I'm gonna dig a little
Went to-
deeper when you say local. Now I'm sorry I don't want to cut you, but can I get a little deeper? Where is local at?
local is right outside of Henderson, Texas on Highway 64, right past the city limits.
Jonaville.
Going to
Not as far as Jonaville.
okay.
Yeah,
I
you
know
ain't
what
wanna
direction
tell
we're
us.
going. Okay, I know where we at. I just wanted the area. Okay.
I know everybody in Jonaville.
Yeah,
Let's put it there. We went to school with them. So when I first went to school, I went to Jim Crow School out on Highway 13, a little school called Goldsberry for 2 years.
Wait, break that down when you say Jim Crow.
Jim Crow, all black.
Okay.
That's back when separate and unequal.
Come on now.
And then after 2 years, I went to the school up the street that is now some kind of church.
Gaskin,
Gaston Elementary. That's
Yeah.
where I went. Gaston Elementary, Gaston Junior High, then went to West Russ. Graduated from West Russ 1977. Then went to Florida A&M University. Got my bachelor's degree in marketing. Came back home. my little shiny degree. I'm trying to make it down here at home. Discovered I got to go get where the ground's a little more conducive.
Come on, listen.
So it didn't matter what I knew. They were more concerned about
Who you
where I
was.
came from and who I was
Okay.
when I walked in.
Okay.
So relocated to Dallas Fort Worth area. By that time, I met my wife. We got married. So I relocated first. She stayed down here, finished at Tyler Junior College, and came back up. We stayed in the Dallas Fort Worth area about 40 plus years. I'm working for, Fortune 500 companies and sales and all this kind of stuff. And then we finally relocated back to down to East Texas. So I'm not far from here where we live. Um, you know, I do other work when it's necessary, because catastrophe recovery, as far as insurance, help people get over hurricanes, fires, floods, all that kind of stuff. And wrote a bunch of books. Last one was about a couple of years ago. It dealt with AI, and how AI is going to impact people, and kind of a story got replacing his whole wife with an AI.
Mm-hmm.
So
you kind of talking to the future a little bit.
you got to keep up. You got to keep up, because that's going to eventually replace a whole lot more of us, even content creators, because you can go in with an AI and
That's
create
The voice
a
and
voice,
everything.
video, everything. And the only way you can tell it's not real, you'll see some little glitch that happens. You
Right.
say, wait a minute,
Might be a
he
little
got
short-
two hands
Yeah.
or something, when they turn. And so that's coming. You got to stay on top of it, because automation has replaced most of these jobs that people are upset about, and they're blaming it on immigrants. That's not really what happened.
Come on now.
Their bosses replaced their jobs with either robots, automated machinery, or they shipped them somewhere where the labor's cheap.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the bottom line.
Did y'all catch that? What he just said? I'm gonna listen. It's ICE is doing a job for one thing. What y'all think they're stealing the jobs? Hold on, my glasses started ringing. Hold on.
The glasses ring. That's the new world.
That's the AI I'm talking about. That's the fan glass. I ain't never. That was the first time he did that, and I forgot what I was saying.
Your glasses.
Anyway, go ahead. Man. I forgot.
But that was a convenient excuse to divide people.
Yeah, you was talking about that ice.
They are taking your stuff when your stuff was start going away years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can get somebody to, control these machines, maintain these machines, and maintain this software. And I don't have to pay you your salary. I don't have to match your taxes. I don't have to pay in your 401k. I don't have to pay your health insurance.
Yes.
So all I got to do is maintain the machine. And I can amortize that over 30, 40 years. For example, Elon Musk just shut down 2 car models at his plant in Fremont, California, the Model X and the Model S. And he's going to convert that to build 1 million robots a year. He calls them Optimus robots. They look like a people form. He said they're not doing one single bit of productive work right now. Somebody said, well, why is he going to build 1 million of them? Because he can. He's so wealthy, he can serve as the research and development arm. And if they got to break something down a person's doing that takes 5 steps, they could break it down into 1 step each, and a robot will do each one of them, and they're not paying that robot. Plus, he can write it off. He's going towards $1 trillion in net worth. So, world's changing, and that's what I like to do. I like to keep up with the changing world. And that's why I got into this content creating. I used to be a long time ago YouTube partner. Then they changed the rules. Used to, if you had 1 million views, you were a partner.
Yeah.
Then they changed it to, oh, you can't just have 1 million views. Now you got to have 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
So I just dropped out. Then I came back with this. I was already posting content on Facebook, and then I came back and got a little hint. Why don't you try to, monetize or whatever? So I applied, got accepted, because the world moves too fast. I can't keep up with it writing books. Because by the time I start writing, it's obsolete. So doing videos is like a blog.
Yeah.
I can just jump from topic to topic, keep up with it. You know, my biggest video I've done on Facebook got over 1 million. I did that when I got up early in the morning and I turned on my phone and I saw that we had attacked Venezuela.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I got to get this right now. It was like 4 or 5 in the morning. I just went up, made a quick video, did a couple of screenshots of some articles. Well, I think I did it off the TV, a screenshot, trimmed it, put it up, narrated behind it, and made one statement that made it take off. And it was like, so you attacked Venezuela. That was your big move. We still want the Epstein files. People
Come on.
jumped on it.
That was you. I think that was you.
So people jumped on it and ran it up. Boom. You know. And I said, okay. But it's
Still want them to
we still hadn't got them.
Hell no.
We still hadn't got them. So, but what do you guys want to talk about?
Man, I'm gonna tell you something, man. What you were just saying, I was so into that, man. Shit, really, you got the flow, man.
That
Cause
was
you really been doing your thing for so long, man. I'm not gonna cut you off, man. You know what I'm saying? Hell, what I want to talk about, man, you got the flow, man. You really got the juice. Let me make this one point though. Y'all, me and my bro on my co-host over here, we've been talking about this shit for a long time. There's nothing bridging the gap. As you can see, man, we're going to point this out. This is an older gentleman. We are middle-aged gentlemen. And until we all decide to come together and listen to what the older people got to say and the younger people listen to what we got to say, and we listen to what the younger people got to say, that's just some shit to keep us missing each other right now anyway. Ain't nothing bridging these gaps. Because this man right here just sit here and gave y'all $1 million worth of game, man. And y'all make sure y'all go tap into his page, Mr. Danny Pollard, give him a follow and keep up with him, man. This man ain't just talking. I'm telling y'all, man, he done thought this shit all the way through. Go ahead.
Okay, the Epstein files. I never thought I'd see this in my lifetime. And it's making people that people thought were unbalanced. They're taking a second look. I said maybe they weren't unbalanced. I'll give you one name. What's that? Roseanne Barr. She came out years ago, made some wild statements about people eating babies and all this kind of stuff. They said, oh, she's off the deep end, man. She's gone. You know, Cat Williams, when he went on Shannon Sharp, he got 90 million viewers. And he was saying about all this crazy stuff going on in Hollywood, how people have handlers and all this. Well, now, and he said, you just wait until you see what's coming next. Now with the Epstein files, we had 2 Republican Congress people go over to the Department of Justice to see the files that they didn't release. Because when they said they released the files, they released 3 billion and they held back 3 million pages, super redacted. So they went over there and they got 5 or 6 computers that they can get on. And they came back after they did a search. One was Lauren Boebert, U.S. representative from Colorado. She went on X, which used to be Twitter, and made a post. She said, the things I saw over there were frightening. She said, they're talking about torture. They're talking about consumption. And they're talking about some restaurant called The Cannibal. And then she also said, and the women involved were enabling all of this. Then a Republican congressman from Tennessee went over there, Tim Burchett. He came back and said, these people need to be executed. He said, we don't need to put them in jail for 30 years.
Guantanamo Bay.
He said, they're talking about satanic rituals that they were doing and sacrifices. But if you notice, you turn on CNN, MS Now, Fox News, they're not talking about any of that.
No.
Now, why wouldn't you talk about something that an elected representative said they saw in the files? That's because they've been suppressed. They're afraid they're going to lose their broadcast license. They've been threatened by the FCC, all kinds of things. So they talk around things. They don't get into it. But I see information from people that live overseas, and they said they're talking about all of it freely. And people overseas are losing their jobs. They're being busted down like Prince Andrew. He's no longer a prince anymore. They made him move out of the royal housing. He's just whatever his name is. And then today, I saw that his ex-wife, Fergie, ex-Duchess of York, they're making her shut down all 6 of her companies that she runs because of ties to Epstein. Emails going back and forth. She was even asking him for a job because she needed money. And this was after he had been busted for soliciting a underage prostitute. So they said, you got to go. A guy in the parliament over there had to resign. One of the top lawyer for, I think it was Goldman Sachs investment firm over here, is stepping down because she had ties to it.
Well, I know people in East Texas have been cutting ties with the picture group, or was it Life Church, to go into schools and take out pictures.
Oh yeah, because the head of
they
that,
tied into it.
yeah,
And Chuck E. Cheese was tied into
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Wayfair, Walmart people were tied in,
yeah,
man. They said that Wayfair and Walmart was selling $100,000 shoes and furniture with the names of missing kids.
yeah, yeah.
So this is some deep shit,
This
man.
is
You know what I'm
deep.
saying? And people didn't want to wanted to get into it because of Trump, but they didn't want to bring it up because this shit way bigger than Trump.
Oh, this is bigger than Trump. They need to come out of the corners. I'm left, you right, I'm red, you blue. Because today, a group of Democratic representatives went to Ohio and they spoke with this guy, interviewed him, Les Wexner. You might not know his name, but you know what he ran.
Yeah,
Les Wexner ran
Victoria's
Bath and Body
Secret.
Works, Victoria's Secret, and Abercrombie and Fitch.
Oh yeah.
He's worth $10 billion. He financed Epstein.
Yeah.
And he act like he wasn't really cool with him, but Epstein managed his fortune for 10 years. He gave Epstein 2 houses and a jet, about $50 million. And my understanding when Epstein died, if he's dead, my understanding when he died, he was worth $600 million. And people say, well, how did he get. But now all these tentacles are just going out. The guy that's over the Summer Olympics coming up is tied into Epstein. The only people that don't seem to be paying a price for being connected with Epstein are the people directly around Trump. His Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, he said he never went around Epstein again after he visited his house. He lived next door to him. So he said, I went to his house, me and my wife, and he had a massage table sitting in the dining room. He said, I never went back again and dealt with that guy. But then when the files came up, it turned out he stopped off at Epstein's Island when he was taking a trip with his family. Like, he's worth about $3.4 billion. So he's probably out there on a private yacht. He said, I had my nanny, my cook, my kids, my wife. He said, oh yeah, I guess I forgot about that. you know, so it's just incredible. And the way they're stonewalling. Pam Bundy, if you saw that testimony in front of Congress, she was just off the rails. She started talking about the stock market instead of answering a question. And I said, what's going on here? And I think what's going on is they are afraid for their lives because they've seen everything in the files. You got too much knowledge just to be walking around free. So it's best to stay close because with the people that are in those files, those folks are more powerful than presidents.
Way more powerful.
A president only has an 8-year term, but these people are generations to generation power and wealth. These are the folks that hold our assets, the worldwide assets. They make the world run. Names of families that most people won't even speak the name of the family. or the hedge funds that, control everything. But everywhere except that core around the White House, people are starting to drop off and step back and resign. But it's like Trump almost has a bunker. He's pulled all his people into it.
Well, he said, if I go down, we all go down.
That's called loading the boat. I mean, when I was in sales, they always said if you got a big risky deal you're working on, make sure you load your boat. I said, what are you talking about? He said, you get the branch manager in on it, you get the vice president in on it, you get everybody in on it. So if the deal goes south, they're gonna keep you from going south because they don't want to go south because they're all in there with you. And I said, well, he's loaded the boat, with these people, and they are doing things to protect him and themselves, probably more themselves, because they've seen what has happened to these people. All of a sudden, they're gone, and Trump's name, according to one of the congressmen, comes up a million times in the files. So you got a million hits.
And he was flying around in the man private jet.
Yeah.
Campaigning.
Yeah, and said he didn't, and then he was, and like, well, I don't know him, and I kicked him out, but
yeah,
he did.
he stole one of my girls. She was underage too. And I told him you can't come back. But listen though, man, the sad part about it all is, let's get back to how in this country, man, what are we gonna do with Walmart? What are we gonna do with Chuck E. Cheese? Hey man, they boycotted. They all pulled their contracts from Life Church, but what's the next step? You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, the thing is so pervasive, you just got to get rid of the head of the snaky state, and you may have to live with the rest of it. Because Henderson, Texas, where you going? You got a shop, you got to get certain things, and you can only get it at that place unless you want to drive 30 miles. So you can't. When they did the boycott of Walmart early on because of the anti-DEI stuff, it's easy for people still living in the Metroplex. If in Dallas, I just go to Target. I go to somewhere else.
You can't go. You couldn't go to Target. Everybody, they want you to boycott.
Yeah, they want to. Yeah, Target was another one. But like Lowe's, they did the anti-DEI. Well, I've got property I gotta keep up and upkeep and go get stuff. I'm not going to Tyler or the Longview to Home Depot every time. I need to run down there, get some paint, run down there, get some tools or whatever. So you kind of get in a situation where you do what you can, but you kind of get boxed in sometimes. But yeah, this has been a very interesting year. It's only been a year since this guy's been in here. Feels like 4.
But man, I had to ask that because people be like, man, we all know the problem. What's some solutions? You know what I'm saying? Like the Epstein file is screwed up as that is. How this gonna help me pay my light bill? What you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Telling me about this shit. Like,
well, see, the thing is, they supposedly, some of them said they elected Trump because he said he was going to lower costs, which he just went the opposite. And now some of the folks are probably starting to say, and he didn't do what he said. And I'm struggling month to month. I'm running out of funds before the month is over. There's no way for them to dig out of that. There's no way for them to dig out there.
So do we keep that same mentality that we was told, pull yourself up by your own bootstraps?
Well, the bootstrap stuff only applies to when it's not them.
Because I know they cut government funding and programs, and it's not only affecting us, it's affecting everybody. So now it's like everybody in the streets, and they like, black people, where y'all at, man? We got to come vote. Democrats is like, you ain't black if you ain't voting Democrat. And you know what I'm saying? It's Republicans, they ain't really offering nothing. But you know what I'm saying? Joe Biden did say that. I didn't like when he said it. I just didn't like Trump. That's the only reason why I voted for that.
I often vote for the lesser of two evils.
Well, that's all we've been doing throughout the time. But let me ask you this question. Right now, everybody is sold on what we had to do on the state level and the national level. while our local government right now is what we voting on. With you being in Rush County and me being in Rush County, how do you feel like black people vote actually affects what go on around here? Because most black people identify as Democrats, and when you go vote in a Democratic primary, ain't nobody on the ballot. Everybody that's gonna govern us is on the Republican side. Uh, this political street talk, man, we need to get into some real shit because there's some people on the streets that need to understanding. I was talking to a brother, he was asking, I was like, man, I try every week to give y'all some understanding, but maybe you can articulate it in a different way. How do you feel about your local government here and our voting system?
Well, okay. I voted today. All right. A lot of the positions I think were not even contested on the Democratic side. They asked you, you want a Democratic ballot or you want a Republican ballot? Give me the Democratic ballot. Both of the names I never heard of that I saw. So I'm like, I don't even know who these people are. I mean, I could be voting for somebody that's gonna.
He could be a Republican on the
Yeah,
Democratic
yeah,
side.
Republican sheep's
Yeah,
clothing. You
they'll
know.
say anything, you know.
Yeah. So, and I just went to the Democratic meeting 2 days ago, 2 nights ago. You know, and I go to the meeting and say, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do the canvassing and all those kind of things. I think in this area, because I left, oh, I don't know, about 83, came back 5, 6 years ago. And the landscape, I got to tell you, the landscape was kind of disheartening because there are fewer black businesses now that I see, particularly one around the corner. You know, I did the deal on Bob's Barbecue. There are fewer black businesses now than when I was young. But when I was young, it was a forced situation because it was segregation.
I'm gonna point this another thing out too. I hate to cut you off, but I gotta
Mm-hmm.
make this point too because a lot of people won't get this. You know what I'm saying? What year did they come up with the credit system?
With the credit system?
Yeah, in America, that shit came about in 1989.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, the old people say get in good with your banker. You can,
Oh, yeah.
you might can get
Yeah,
some shit.
yeah,
But
they
now
know you.
they come up with 89 with a credit system and shit to deny people and start pulling stuff. It's a lot of stuff that play into what you saying. Like you
Mm-hmm.
leave in the 80s and come back and it's less shit. It's like a lot of that is through government programs that
Right.
you know what I'm saying. When we told, hey man, black man don't vote. That shit don't matter. These people gonna do what they gonna do. Hell yeah, if you don't voice your
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah. You mean if you don't vote, regardless of who you vote for, I don't think you have much of a voice. There's a whole lot more people that complain that didn't vote than the ones that did vote, even if your candidate lost. Now, what we're starting to see in a few spots are Democrats winning seats that went in areas that went for Trump by 10, 15% in the last election, and now Democrats. Um, and I think it's a reflection of just the reality that people are looking around and us and the other folks are in the same boat. So I was driving down the street the other day and there's a, food bank not too far from here. And the cars are lined up. There were more cars lined up of Caucasian people in them than it was black folks.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they cut the SNAP benefits off, when the government shut down, those lines were populated
Mm-hmm.
with just as much or
Mm-hmm.
more uh,
It's fact.
people of races other than black.
Facts.
So when it comes to economics, I'm just going to say this that Lyndon Johnson said a long time ago. Lyndon Johnson, before he was president, he said it. It sounds controversial, but he said it. He said, if you can convince the lowest white man that he is better than the best black man, you can pick his pocket. If you give him somebody to look down upon, he'll empty his pockets for you. And that's what's been going on.
Facts.
They're emptying their pockets But now they're figuring out that this whole thing is not racially divided.
No,
It's economically
have,
divided.
have not. Yeah.
Yeah, it's economically divided. So they look at a poor person of any race and any gender and any ethnicity as the same. I wrote a book called One Eighth of a Man a few years ago. And I based that book on research I did where the Federal Reserve did a survey of family wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And what they found is the median black family that's just reaching in the middle had a net worth 1/8 that of the median white family. 1/8.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a baby trying to talk to Shaquille O'Neal.
Mm-hmm.
You're not even on the same planet. You know, they look down there and say, like right here, I can go from one area where there's $1 million houses, and 30 seconds later, I'm around houses that have caution tape around them. They're condemned, boarded up. That short period of space, and it's really evident in a small town.
Mm-hmm.
In a city like Dallas, you might have to go from North Dallas to Oak Cliff.
Mm-hmm.
Here, you go around the corner,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just stark. Boom, boom. You go, wow, what the heck happened? And I think about when I was growing up, we used to go to Yates Park, and it was popping. That's where all the black folks went. We had a swimming pool, the whole nine. Lake Forest Park had a swimming pool, whole nine. I come back here, nobody has a public swimming pool.
So hold on, you just told me something. Yates had a swimming pool.
You know that?
Yeah,
Man, I ain't grow up in Henderson shit.
yeah.
I remember
I know Lake Forest had
covered it up.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they had swim. They had everything. We did softball games out there, the whole nine.
Mm.
And I came back. I said to myself, I said, where do people go to? Where do the young people go to? The movie theater closed. I'm like, what's going on? I said, this is just getting stripped down. And then some of the few black businesses could start closing. And when I was growing up young, we had the black laundromat, black dry cleaners, black grocery stores, service stations, all of this stuff. But that was kind of forced through segregation.
Which was a great thing.
Yeah, and then when that went away, they start falling apart because people said, well, I can go over here now and shop, and I can go here and shop, and I can do this and that. And it's not saying that segregation was great, but it was an environment that as a kid, I was just used to it. I was used to seeing black folks run stuff. And now a lot of that is falling by the wayside, and it's just kind of interesting when you do business. We did a little real estate development here, and you start dealing with the bureaucracy, what you need to do, the planning and all this, and you got to do this and that, and
Find out you had to do a lot
get an
more shit
engineer
than
and all
somebody
that. Sometimes people drive by something that's already there and say, oh, I'd like to do that. I said, well, let me tell you what you need to do. They said, really? I said, yeah, because you got to end up with that plan signed off by a judge and filed at the county clerk's office. So it's interesting doing that because I've been gone a while, and you start dealing with local officials, and sometimes they have a certain way of interacting, and I have a certain way of interacting. It really hadn't changed.
They act a little different right now. It's election time.
Yeah, but it really hadn't changed because I'd been gone so long, and whenever I went out there and I started doing stuff away from home in these large corporations, coming from a small town, it's easily to think, do I measure up? But I never really had that problem because I always had the attitude that I'm going to be more prepared and know more than any of these other people. So when I walk in the room or a presentation, I'm not worried about getting out of my depth. Now I got in some positions where I was stretching, you know, because of the companies I was working for, what they dealt with. I was in high tech, like IBM and people like that. So you get in some situation where you're stretching yourself. But if you don't stretch yourself, you're not going to move past what your expectations were. And I tell anybody young, it's still, education is still the best way to climb out. And anybody doing any investments, if you can, get a house. If you can, I don't care if it's a little house, 1 bedroom, something, get some real estate of some kind that you own, because that's about the only thing that's going to keep up with inflation. Cars, boom, time you drive them off the lot, you lost money. A house,
Build equity.
it's going to build equity, it's going to increase in value, and you use that as a stair step to get your next house and your next one. I'm in my fourth house. You know, each one was a little bit, bigger or whatever than the other. But it's the equity that keeps you going. That's the reason that wealth gap was there.
Come on.
The home ownership and the value of the homes that were on the other side versus the value of our homes.
Teach.
All right. Can I make this point right quick?
Mm-hmm.
At some point in time, systematically, we couldn't buy houses.
Yeah, you used to have red
And we
line.
had red line in
Yeah.
certain areas you couldn't live in because they don't want you voting their elections, kids
Right.
going to their school, all type of shit. It's Black History Month, man. So I know you deep into this, man. You wrote all these books and stuff. What's your opinion on that, man? Because it's somebody young that's listening that need to understand their history at the same time you dropping this knowledge about housing and stuff too.
Yeah, Black History Month, it's been around a long time. And used to, in my opinion, it was a time where people recited Martin Luther King and this, that, and the other. Well, I was in the third grade when Martin Luther King was assassinated. I just moved to Gaston Elementary to white school.
Mm-hmm.
So that morning, I went to class, and he had been shot that night. When the bell rang, one of my little white classmates ran out of the room and said my daddy said they shot that N-word. So that was real and current.
Y'all didn't fight?
Now, third grade, I'm not even sure I understood what was going on, to be honest with you. So now we've just lost Jesse Jackson. Here locally, we lost what I consider Black History, Betty Elder. I went to her funeral. And then I did the deal on Bob's Barbecue. I felt that was part of Black history for here, because I think I put it under Black history. Because to me, that left a hole, because that was one of the places I went to. I said, man, we lost another Black
Just
business.
like and it's the Alvin Washington store.
Yeah, yeah. And he started, I was talking to his wife, he started his pit. He used to be in Alvin Washington store. Then he started a pit across the street. So, and then we lost Jesse Jackson. And I started thinking, I remember we went to Memphis one time. We went to the Lorraine Motel where King was killed on that balcony. And I started thinking about Jesse Jackson. And one of the things I thought about is, where are these big men that we used to have? The big men that would go national, Jesse Jackson, Martin Luther King.
Jesse was bought and paid for. Like, we can't act like Jesse Jackson was just some real stand. Yes, he was a great figure.
Yeah.
But we can't act like Jesse Jackson was just some stand-up black guy and was power to the people to the end, because that ain't who he was.
Well, he changed. He used to be Trump's friend until Trump changed and said, I'm running for president. And then he turned against him. So they were buddies. They used to have their offices in one of Trump's buildings. And Trump made a statement. He said, Jesse was this and that. He said Jesse has street smarts. Well, he discounted the man was educated by street smarts. And Jesse almost became the first black person to win the nomination, because he came in second to Michael Dukakis in 1988. He made that mistake with the hot mic, and he made some comment that was derogatory to the Jewish community. It got caught on tape, and that kind of ended it. But he changed the delegate system to where you kept your delegates even if you didn't win, and then you had some bargaining power, and that assisted Barack Obama becoming the nominee because of the way the delegates were changed. But the only thing I say about Jesse is people need to remember two things that he said all the time. One was, I am somebody, which means you're somebody. And the other was keep hope alive.
Somebody.
That I did a video on that. That I am somebody. Man, people got infuriated. They were mad. They were hot
Because you said you somebody.
because the concept of self-worth. If you believe in yourself, that disables. I'm the president,
Fact.
and I'm just, a person down here. It disables. I'm the Elon Musk, and I'm on welfare. You feel you have just as much worth as a person as that other person. Wealth doesn't mean anything anymore because I'm God's child, you're God's child. Just because you have more material things don't make you better. And that is frightening to these folks. The other thing is that is interesting, it kind of dovetails with Black history. We just had the first measurement of births in the United States where minority births were more than white births.
Yeah, I seen that.
And that's where the country's going, the majority minority, probably in the early 2040s. That's what the whole fight's about.
That's why they make America great again.
That's the whole fight.
So Kevin, let me just say, when we say minority and majority, we black people are known as the minority.
Right. Also, Hispanics.
Okay, but if we're going by numbers, we're never the minority. White people have always been the minority if we're going by numbers.
Well, we actually only have 13% of the population in the United States.
So white people make up more.
Yeah, we got.
And they're going. And if that being said, to know they're going to like die off in the next 20 years is
Well, they'll
crazy.
be in the minority
Being the minority
because a lot of people don't identify as one race anymore. They don't check that box. They say, oh, they married to, another race person or whatever, or they found out their background and they got some other race in their background. So they're changing their identification. And the birth rate is lower for whites. That's why Trump earlier in the year was talking about paying people to have babies. And that's why he's talking about bringing in white South Africans. And that's why he's talking about, people coming from S-hole countries. And he's trying to get rid of the Haitians. He's trying to get rid of the Somali people. That's why he's talking about trying to undo naturalized citizenship, because it appeals to a certain core group of people that back him. But people aren't going back. They're not going back to what he considers to be the great America, because that's back like when I first went to school. They're not, that's not going to happen. Now, the fight is on. This ICE thing is going on, and that's just a show, because Barack Obama deported more people than Trump.
Thank you.
But you didn't see him running in the street, headlocking people, and
running in the kids' high school graduation,
right,
and shit, man.
And running through CVS and Target and all this stuff, or running through people down in the fields. They targeted people that committed crimes, and I never knew ICE was around. Now they're rolling up and down the street with masks on. That's a show, That's his Gestapo, and people get mad when you say that, but those are the parallels that we're heading toward. He's trying to put in place an authoritarian system, but I don't think he can do it because the United States is too large. It's too vast. The states, except for the ones that are aligned with him, are fighting him. And plus he's got a health problem, and I don't think if he's gone, I don't think the people behind him have the charisma to hold it together. Plus the population's anchored.
Well, this right here is my thing, bro. We can all agree somebody wanted him in there.
Well, the people behind him,
yeah, somebody wanted him in there, and they use a lot of money and influence to get him in there.
Oh yeah.
So it's like with him being here or not, somebody else gonna keep this show going. I think JD Vance can keep the same thing.
I don't think JD Vance has the charisma to do it. Trump's a great showman.
He really is.
He is a
He
great
really is.
carnival barker type guy, and Vance, he's like, what you want me to say? And he'll go out and say it, but he
Sounds
just
like
doesn't have it. It's gonna fall apart because people are getting angry. People don't like not being able to buy the food they want. They don't like going from, 93% ground beef to 70% in the roll.
And the prize went up.
Yeah, they don't like that. They want to be able to eat what they want and not what they have to. You get some CEO somewhere of some food company like Kellogg saying, well, you can just eat cereal for dinner. They said that last year. And that's cheaper. And people backlashed on that. Don't tell me I gotta eat cake and you eat filet mignon all day long. So, that's kind of where that stuff is.
Let me just double back right quick. By Jesse Jackson, a couple of facts right quick.
Mm-hmm.
He created the term African American. Jesse Jackson introduced that to the lexicon for black folks. We wasn't calling ourselves African American until Jesse Jackson introduced it. Another thing, y'all heard of Rainbow Coalition?
Mm-hmm.
He stole it from my daddy. It was initially called Operation Breadbasket.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
My daddy created that.
Okay.
And Jesse Jackson came in and he wanted to remix it, and they ended up falling out behind that in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And the third thing was they said Jesse had something to do with MLK assassination.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
All right, y'all do the research and let me know what's up.
Y'all got a lot of homework to do.
Yeah. He was on that balcony and with no tie on.
Yeah.
And that's why they know not to shoot him. And he was the only person to get on the airplane up out of Memphis that night too. But it's a bunch of more shit y'all can go do the knowledge on yourself.
Yeah. Y'all go do the research on that. Y'all do the research. But when I'm
morning come out there, they back. He told me, going out there and take pictures in public.
Yeah. But our history is not our real history anyway, because they have never told 1/8 of what really went on. Like slavery. When I was growing up, we raised livestock. We had cows, we had pigs. My father raised corn, peas, beans, whatever. We had 1 acre of land, and a lot of that stuff sustained us. When we were brought over here, our ancestors brought over here, they became what I call human husbandry. And husbandry means farming, ranching. They were livestock. Okay.
Right here in Russ County.
Yeah, they were livestock. They were basically the equivalent of a cow, a horse,
Sex form,
or a pig, or whatever. And they were property,
Right here.
Now, we all know that they knew those folks were human like they were because they intermingled with them. They went out to the slave quarters and had their way. And then some people are still ancestors of that situation. But we had the, buck breaking system.
Do you know what plantation your family came from in this area?
No. My understanding is our folks came from Georgia.
But are you aware of the plantations in this area though?
No, I'm not aware of. I've read some of the slave narratives.
No, I'm talking about in Henderson, Russ County. I'm talking about because it's records in the Russ County. You can go online and see how they were selling a black man for 1,000 and a horse for 100.
Yeah,
it's in the records, like RussCounty.com, wherever this shit's called. I got it online.
Yeah. I went in there one time and started reading some of the slave narratives, and they were talking to this woman. I think might have been down in Nacogdoches somewhere, and she was talking about she heard the men yelling through the night as they were being beat. She said, "Oh, they really put them on them tonight." And but the push is when somebody comes out of being property and they're freed, they have nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're free, and you look out at the road and go, where am I going?
Too, if I catch you down the street without permission,
right,
we're gonna whoop that ass. So
right. So they looked at that as now I've got to give up something I have for them to have something. And that's why all the years of the Jim Crow law, the black codes, all that stuff, to keep these people from advancing. And when they did start advancing, then they came up with the segregation deal. Then people kept advancing, and now you live next door to them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like some of them think, well, I'm living next door to somebody that was ancestors were property. They were owned by my folks, maybe. And it bothers some black people don't want to talk about slavery because of that. They feel like if I talk about slavery and I'm in my office or on my production line, this white person next to me, his family may have owned my folk.
Facts.
And they feel like that's diminishing their self-worth. That's because they don't have a self-worth inside that is divorced from that. So some people will talk down on it. It's not slavery. You know, I did a video near Christmas where I eat some chitlins.
Mm-hmm.
You know, why you eating that slave food? You don't have to eat that. And I said, I know I don't have to. I said, but they didn't have a choice. So I'm just playing homage to them. You know, I can go eat a ribeye steak the next day. But they got offended. Like, I'm lowering myself by eating this food. I said, no, I'm not. That still doesn't affect me. I'm still who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I said, you could eat whatever you want inside your own house. But we got to get out of that because now some are shocked. And when they saw the pushback on the DEI, the anti-DEI stuff, taking the Black history out of the Pentagon files, you know, they removed some plaque on, I think it was Missouri, that acknowledged that George Washington held 9 slaves. Well, Trump had them go in and take that off and remove it. Then the judge told them, put it back.
I don't even believe George Washington was real, man. I ain't never met a white boy last name Washington in my life. Name a white boy last name Washington you met. You can't. Ain't no white folks last name Washington, man. George Washington wasn't no real person, man. It's all bullshit, man. Name a black person, a white person named Washington.
Hey, that's fucked up
Cause you can't. Shout out to James Washington them and Washington over there in Jenkins Lane. I don't know no white Washington. So that's another bullshit ass lie white folks told, man. Next. All they do is lie. History, all they do is lie.
Yeah,
that's why it's up.
Fucked up.
All they do is lie. So, like, okay, go ahead, brother.
Well, that's fine. You know, you got a point. But, you know, somebody sent something to me online and I saw the name and it's a name I only knew black folks by. And then I clicked on the profile and they were white. I went, man, I could have swore.
Now, this is something that it's a what's the people name? The Guggenheim. I can't think of the name.
Guggenheim.
You know what I'm talking about? How they it was actually a black people on the Titanic, a black royalty, nobility, or somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And they died on the Titanic, and they swapped their identity out to make them seem white. I may be missing some parts of this story, but what my point is, they've taken our identity from a lot of our royal and abundant history
all the way over to the
end. Swapped it out and gave it to them.
Yeah, you know, I did a video the other day. Somebody online called me a bubble lip N-word.
Damn. What you say? Twitter? Hold on. How you respond? Damn.
Here's how I responded. I made it the second video using that comment. And I said, I was called a bubble lip N-word today. And I made a video and I said, wow. I said, you know what? I said, I got these lips from my parents. And I started doing that. I said, do my lips look big? And then I said, you know what? I said, there's something in Mar-a-Lago at Trump's home. I said, they call it Mar-a-Lago face. But the women, I said, you notice the features? I said, they all have big old swollen lips. They either have injections or they've got inserts or they got implants. And I said, you know, so they used to that they was derogatory towards black women. They used to call it ghetto booty.
Mm-hmm.
So now women are getting BBLs. So they have to pay for that. I said, they got to pay for the BBLs. They got to pay for the lips. I said, man, they got people came back to me. But
You woke up like that?
well, they got upset because I was expressing pride in that.
Yeah, how dare you?
Yeah, this is me. I came with this, and now.
Respect.
But yeah, that bubble lip N word got to you. I mean, yeah, I saw that. I went, wow. I said, if that was a different part of my life, I'd be like, man, because I'm gonna turn this right back on him.
King of engagement, I see.
He said I was called the bubble lip nigga. Did he put the ER on it?
Hard, hard.
He put the whole thing. See,
But listen though, was it all in caps?
No,
He really mad if they put it all in caps.
no, he wasn't. He put it, and you know how the Facebook will hide comments. So they said relevant comments. So I hit the one that said all comments, and there it was. You bubble lip. I think it's F up. You bubble lip N word. I went, oh really? Yeah, that's not the first thing stuff like that has happened to me. When I'm working for one of these big companies, we were going to lunch one day, and my manager, I was the only black guy in the car. It's four of us. So he's going this way. A black man's coming this way, and all of a sudden he said, "Well, what you gonna do, N word?" And everybody in the car looked at each other. I'm sitting right behind him. His back of his head. So now if I'd have been a different kind of person, like one of my brothers, they probably would have hit him in the back of the head. So you know, he parked the car. We were all sitting there looking at each other. He said, "What's wrong with him?" I said, "Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it later on." So I went back to the office, and they were like, I told one of the guys what happened. "Aren't you going to go home?" I said, "No, I'm not going home." I said, "I got to make a living, man." I just wrote it up, faxed it over to the headquarters office. They got it. They called him in. He apologized. They took him out of his position, put him in the warehouse. Then later on, he left. But you're gonna run into that kind of stuff. But I never let it stop me from doing anything. I act logically and not emotionally because I would have been out of what I was doing a long time ago. So
Especially messing with IBM.
yeah. This was a different company, but same kind of situation. It's just one of those things of moving through life, learning how you got to navigate, learning how you got to react. Um, you can't always react emotionally with anger. There's always another way to do it. I've had a couple of times where I found out I had wage discrimination. Found out I've been paid less for the same job. I just went to him and say, "Hey, here's what's going on." Actually, one day I was on my way to the EEOC. Didn't get there in time, so I went and told them what's going on. And they said, "What do you want?" I said, "I want back pay and immediate equity." They said, "Okay, boop, there you go." And one time that happened when I was in a management position. So you got to navigate your way through the world. And sometimes you get in certain positions, you're going to be the only black person in the room. And that's been on quite often. And you just got to learn how to deal and keep progressing and represent yourself. My family, my father always told us, be somebody. That's what he preached all the time. Just be somebody, and don't lay down with dogs and you get fleas and all this kind of stuff. And that's the way I did it.
Who told you that?
My father. He wasn't a great 101 conversationalist. He would walk around the house just spreading the word and
That's
inside
it.
the house.
My point was, I just wanted the audience to hear where you got that wisdom guidance from. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that point of the game is reason why it's so important that we have black fathers. Hell, fathers, period.
Yeah.
Our kids are going astray, man. Last week before we left the show, man, we was talking about stuff that's happening to them, our kids, our nephews, our whatever, you know what I'm saying? And when I get home, somebody tagged me in on some young black kids over there in Tyler. They got shot over at Williams Chicken. I don't know the circumstance. So people don't judge me. I'm just making this point.
Mm-hmm.
We were saying these are our kids. If we don't try to save them, who else is? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we need to do that now more than ever. You know what I'm saying? So once again, y'all, this is why it's so important, because y'all see the game and the knowledge that this brother got, man. This ain't no, I learned this last week. This is over years of collecting knowledge and wisdom, man. You know how you say it, boy. What's the difference between knowledge, wisdom, and how you say it?
He's actually turned the knowledge into wisdom and applying it now to what, like, again, man, ask this right here.
Mm-hmm.
What is it like? Because I be telling folks I'm a content creator, but now I'm listening to you. I realize I ain't going hard enough. I ain't creating enough content. I'm not. I don't feel like my content is even interesting enough no more. What is it like being a older brother, older man in the digital world of content? Like, how does, like, because people will tell me, they might look at me and try to tell me, you too old to be trying to make them videos. I look at you and be like, shut up.
You see, they tell me that online, but those are the people that don't know what's going on. They got a certain mindset about people over a certain age. See, I grew up with technology. So when I was at IBM, we were creating the personal computers, and stuff like, the major airline, they wanted to go from the fixed computer terminals to PCs to do reservations.
Yeah.
Well, we had to model all that, break it all down and make sure it worked the way that it did before. And, I was like,
I see it.
He's cold. Nothing cold.
Yeah, I mean, I flew to New York, met with the vice president of the PC division, and I said, well, we need these many with these components in it, and we got to do them this way. So if another airline wants them, then we're going to change it slightly so it's not the same product.
And you said it twice.
Yeah, I was going in and out of his office. I would go sit in the hallway, and he's sitting in there with his socks on the phone making deals. I go back in. He's okay. This is how we're gonna do it. They got to do it this way. They got to make an order of 5,000 of them at a time. Blah 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 blah. And so the technology, for example, I sold a mainframe computer system to a hospital district right at the end of the year. I wasn't making a fuss about it. I was just gonna close the deal because you make too big a fuss, somebody tries to scoop you. And I found out later there was a lady meeting with the branch manager trying to take the deal. She's trying to stab me in the back when I'm doing the deal, and my manager was fighting for me to keep it. So I brought the deal in. It was about $1.7 million back in 1980 something dollars. A lot of money, So that system went in. It ran the whole county hospital system, and I was sitting down with the buyer, the computer data center manager. I said, I need to get the hospital administrator into our office for a presentation. I know you're not going to buy the new computer system, the processor from me, but you're buying all this other stuff. He said, you're going to F this thing up. He turned red. He cursed me out upside and down. I'm sitting across some table, no wider than that. Then after he got through, turning red the whole nine, I said, well, I need to get him in. He said, okay, I'll get him in. Then we got the deal done. But I grew up with the technology, and sometimes I'm a little surprised because I'm 67. Sometimes I'm a little surprised I run across people that are 10 years younger than me, and they're totally computer illiterate.
I'm not telling this shit, man.
But since I grew up with that stuff, and that was my job, I worked on computer screens and stuff and system my whole career. And so it's not foreign to me. I'm not an expert, I don't know all the AI stuff and all that. And when I do content creation, I do it the simplest way possible. I just boom, boom, I trim it, do whatever, record over it, and get it out. Because I found out the amount of time you spend on the content doesn't equal the reach or the views you're going to get on it. Because sometimes something you think is going to hit does nothing.
Yep.
And something you think is going to do nothing, it takes off. Or it builds. What I found out, is I can put something on there and it looks like it's doing nothing, but then all of a sudden it starts
Yeah.
cranking and cranking and cranking. So young people need to make sure that they stay on top of this stuff, because if you get left behind, um, it's hard to catch up. Getting a job now, you have to be computer literate, because a lot of these jobs only select from online job search databases,
Damn.
and they're searching keywords.
Mm.
Some of them probably have those things tuned that if they run across the name Keisha, bing,
Facts.
kicked out. Yeah, he run across Laquan, boom,
Facts.
kicked out. And our president used to do that, but it was on paper. When he and his father got sued, I think it was the 1970s, for discrimination in housing in New York, they had their people write a C.
My dad
color.
told me that. My dad told me they
Yeah.
were. 5 minutes in your interview, they already know. They already
Yeah.
marking for the next person.
Yeah, they write a C on
Yeah,
applications that don't rent to no black folks. So the C meant color. They settle with the Justice Department. So he's been in that mind frame a long time. But folks see me online, and every once in a while I get some young person come through and say, "Pops, what are you doing on here?" I made a video the other day, and some guy made a comment and said, "Man, they passing out selfie sticks at the old folks' home."
Well, they be on you.
Hey, what you say? Turn me up.
I said something like, "Why are you responding?" I mean, they judge books by their cover.
Facts. Yeah.
That's the deal. That's all they do. They judge it by the cover, and they think they're trying to be snappy and clever. And I'm like, when you get out of your mama's basement or whatever, But I ignore it. I get plenty of views. I'm still getting plenty of followers, and I'm just building it. I'll see where it goes. I do a whole bunch of other stuff in the real world. You know, um, I have to run my property and everything else.
All I know, man, you caught my attention with the videos. I'm like, man, I'm gonna tell you, I know how you said it earlier, but I was chilling and I was strolling. I said, damn, school on that. School.
It be your own people.
I said, hey, yo, school on that, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, regardless of what I thought when I seen it, I was like, man, I heard what you said. And I was like, damn, man. Then I looked at another one. I watched another one. And it was like, I got some shit to do. But I was like, all right, so I get off. And I ain't gonna lie to you, it's like I see so much stuff, you kind of see people's stuff, you're like, I'm gonna go back to it, and you don't. So I've been saying I was gonna go back and check it out, and then I seen that one that you did on Ball's Barbecue, and I was like, man, I gotta reach out to him, man, because he really. But the content is what I be on anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, man, that's like, yeah, we gotta get him on the show, man. But I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I ain't had no clue about all these damn books.
Yeah, I got an active mind, and that's one reason I do this content creation. It's an outlet for me to keep my mind going and to comment on things. And
At what
I've always
age?
done that.
At what age did you know you had it?
When I was in first grade,
Mm-hmm. Come on now.
when I was at that Jim Crow elementary school, my first grade teacher, Cousin Try, she came in there and said, "Danny, you can do anything you want to do.
Mm.
You can be anybody you want to be." And so when I got to the third grade at the high school, you've heard of these Big Chief tablets for school? Big wide rules, and kids write on like 3 lines and all that.
Yeah, I remember them big suckers. When
Yeah,
you
the
first
red
started writing your name.
Yeah, the red
Yeah,
ones,
okay.
Big Chief. So I went in there and I was writing on in between the 2 lines on like a college rule notebook in cursive.
Mm.
So the third grade teacher walked up to me and said, "Who taught you how to write like that?" I said, "My teacher at the old school."
Mm.
And from then on, I always wanted to be the best in the class. I always wanted to beat everybody else. I don't know where it came from, but I always had the attitude, none of these people are better than me, and I'm going to beat them. If I can't beat them financially or with materials that we have as a family, I'm going to beat them up here, you know. And that's the way I did it all the way. And then when I was about to finish, and I think I'd already graduated, I was set to go to Jarvis Christian College
Yeah.
on scholarship. Then my mother called me and said, somebody's on the phone for you. I said, who is it? She says, Dr. Mobley from Florida A&M. So I got on the phone, and I had taken the National Merit Scholarship qualifying test. Everybody out there, take those tests that come through, because I scored high enough to be honorable mention. So she said, Danny, we got your scores. She said, we got a full ride academic scholarship for you at the School of Business and Industry at Florida A&M. And I went, okay, I'm coming. Jarvis,
Said Jarvis
versus Florida A&M. I was gone.
too.
I'd never flown on a plane before. I didn't care. Boom, I'm gone. My daddy gave me this old green army chest that he had to put my stuff in. And I grabbed that chest to put all my stuff in, got on my first flight, and I was gone. Had a stopover in Atlanta. I ain't never, never been to the airport before. I said, okay, they said I need to go to some gate so and so. So man, I landed there, and there were people from all over the United States, Chicago, LA, whatever, black folks, and the Marching 100 was blasting and marching and doing all that. I couldn't get in my dorm room. They only had one key. My roommate had the key. I was up 24 hours. And I said, okay. Then I got there, and I said, okay. I said, I'm going to get in and out of this place. I ain't lingering. I'm not going to mess up myself partying too much. And
You party a little bit.
a little bit.
Oh, okay.
They had some good. They had some good parties.
In Florida.
They had some good parties, cute dog parties, all that stuff. But I got at it, man. I was taking 18 hours. One time, I think I took 23 hours in a summer semester, and I finished in December. And my scheduled March date was end of May. I finished. I filled out my application for my diploma, and I booked. I had a little blue Maverick, 3 on the column, recap tires. Got those from this place that used to be on 79, but they used to actually recap the tires. And I packed everything in there with enough room for me to just squeeze in and drive. And I started driving from Florida back to Texas.
Oh, Lord.
And I never marched. They sent me my diploma in the mail. They sent me a plaque in the mail. The #1 overall graduate in the marketing department. I said, dang, I should have marched.
So you've been excelling
See,
since the first grade.
I had to, because I wasn't going to go out and work in the plants. I had worked in the plants during the summer, and that told me I didn't want to work in the plant for the rest of my life. I worked at the International Paper,
I did too for the
summertime.
summer.
Yeah, I worked at Craft Made Mobile Homes in the summer. I was doing roof. There must have been some bad roofs. They had me up there with a big staple gun.
They put you out there in that salt mill. You didn't want that. You said you would.
Well, I worked there one summer. I worked at the mobile home manufacturing place the next summer, and and I knew people that, including family, that worked in the factory. It was hard work, man. I mean, they were out there. They would go out there sweating and whatever. And
I tell you what, you started on it early, and I seen boy light up. You said basically, if it's not here for you, you have to go and get it.
you got to go to more fertile ground.
So, boy, I would like for you to elaborate on that, boy. That's your life, man.
He just an example of how big the world is and how much more opportunity it is, other than just what we know, what we've been knowing our whole life. You know what I mean? Just the whole, I say the thinking in this area is heavy, so boxed in. It's like nobody will allow you to become big here. You can go off and come big, but don't nobody want you to get bigger than them here.
All right.
I want you to keep you right here beside me. As soon as you go up a little bit,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, it just doesn't make sense. Again, I'm gonna always take you back to the Bible where it say you never a prophet never honor in his own land, a king is never honored. You got to go off, man. I'm just a firm believer.
Well, unless I didn't have the opportunity of what some of my other classmates had, my parents didn't own a business that they could pass on to me, or I could start getting the family business. I didn't have the contacts at these places and companies that could bring me into the office to do this or that or whatever. So after I understood the lay of the land and how this was going to go, I said, I got to roll.
Hmm.
I mean, if I'm not able to meet what I want to meet where I am, I got to do it somewhere else. So after I went and left for all those years and came back, we came back on our own terms, and COVID actually made it easier, even though it was a bad deal, because when COVID struck, we were working up in the Metroplex and had a house because the job was there.
Yeah.
But when COVID struck, they went remote.
Mm.
I said, if they're remote, I can work from anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So we finally sold the house there and came down here, and we were working on the computer just like we were working in the office. It just wasn't people walking around, trying to see what you're doing, even though they could dial into your system. So that enabled us to fully move back. Plus, I had family I wanted to be closer to, people getting older and all that. And so that's how it was, And I'm glad for the journey. I'm glad I wasn't one of these folks that said, I got to stay home. I want to be around my homeboys and all that. And the other thing I tell everybody is sometimes you got to lose people to move up.
Oh, boy. Ding, 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 ding. We need boom, boom, bombs. We need some sound effects. We need sound effects, y'all. Listen, y'all hear what he just said? Mm. Y'all be scared to let people go.
Yeah, you got to do that because a lot of people want to be grown too soon, and I was always wary of, I don't want to screw this up too early. I don't want to mess up. I don't want to get in trouble before I get out of here. I don't want to have the responsibility of having a kid before I'm ready. So, when someone actually made a little move one time saying, well, you're going to be leaving, the female. I said, yeah, I'm gone. Because their mind was on getting married or whatever. And I was like, it's not time yet. I'm not where I need to be to do that kind of thing.
I understand.
So I roll.
You do side the roof.
I mean, you gotta decide what you want to do and what you want to be. If you make the wrong detour, you cut yourself off early.
Facts.
And then you have regrets.
Facts.
And sometimes resentment.
Facts.
And I didn't want to be in that situation. So I left. I came back. And then I met my wife. After I was back, I had what I wanted in my pocket. I had my degree, I had my knowledge. I said, I'm going to make this work. And now,
I'm gonna throw you a curveball right quick though.
mm-hmm.
She had to play ball then, didn't she?
Who? But let me tell you something.
My man said he got options.
But let me say you something. You need the right partner.
Yeah, it takes,
because somebody that's going to help you climb is going to be better than somebody that meets you when you already climbed to the mountaintop.
talk about it.
Because if you're already there, what you need them for?
Talk about it.
They after what you got that you built on your own. But if you get somebody that's going to help you move up the ladder, and we both didn't have anything. We met. I didn't have anything. She didn't have anything. She had a new car though, a little Chevy Chevette. But so we met, and
Let you drive.
Oh, I
They
had
still with her.
I had a
He
little
drive
I
that
had a
car.
little yellow Mustang. I had a
Okay,
little car.
I'm just trying to get in y'all business back then. Okay.
So when I left and she stayed to finish college, and then she came up there, and from that point on, we were rowing in the same direction and climbing up. There wasn't anybody hanging on for the ride. Because sometimes she had to carry the load if things got tough, and sometimes I had to carry the load if things got tough.
That's right.
So if you can't be with somebody that's going to add to you
Come on now.
and subtract from you, then you might have a problem on your hands.
My man said he graduated from marketing school. That's 101 right there. if I'm making one and spending two, I'm gonna go broke. But listen though, man, this right here is why this game is so important, man. You know what I'm saying? The older people and us and younger people, if we ever done this right here and unified, man, we can get back to some of what Boy be talking about, man. We can educate our kids at school. Uh we can do a lot of things, man. But long as we divide it, man, it ain't no knowledge being passed on. Like this brother right here saying, he met his wife and it took two. Okay. That was the family structure that me and Boy was talking about earlier. Not this show, but if you keep up with political street talk, we talked about this, man. That structure is not a lot of two-parent households. Okay. The two-parent household is bigger than man and wife. It's two incomes. It's
Yeah.
This that stability in that structure, man. We got to get back to the black family and prayer, man. That right there is what's a killing our community the most. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I never really knew a lot of black people when I was growing up that weren't two parents in the house. Where I grew up, it was kind of a little family village because it was my uncle, then it was my mother and father, then it was my aunt. They all bought land next to each other when they moved out there. And then it was my neighbors. They were all two parent homes.
Well, I'm an 80s baby, man. I'm smart enough to know a lot of people lost it in the 80s, man. The drugs hit hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Drugs hit hard. They hit us with credit systems. It, a lot of stuff went into that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people right now. It's a lot of these babies out here that's chemically induced, man.
Yeah.
Shit, they on Adderall for 14, 15 years of your life, high on a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And then they gonna say, you gonna go to jail for smoking some weed. You just gave me some shit that's gonna destroy my liver. I'm chemically induced. If me or you got one of them pills, it's called a controlled substance. We gonna get some real time.
Yeah.
So you will put kids on this right here after you took parents out the household. Black businesses went away. Man, we hit some hard times in the 80s and 90s, man. And right now we still suffering from this shit because who are some of the adults that we think can tell a child some logical shit and they ain't never had it?
Well, you know, that's an old saying. The blind leading the blind. You know, that's all. Now, unfortunately, a lot of younger kids don't put any credibility towards someone over a certain age. They're blind to it.
I hate to cut you off, but if you ain't never been around no old people, what you think? I can remember when I was 18, I was messing with my cousin, said he was 28. I'm like, man, you old as shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I couldn't fathom being the age that I am today. And it's like to a young man to the age that you is, it's like when I see him, it's like we ain't got shit in common. But why is it that way? Just as easy as a young man can look at you and think that I'm guilty of this too. I can look at a young man and say, man, this nigga lost. But it's like a 5-minute conversation with him, you'll find out. Shit, that nigga just like I was at that age. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that he lost his shit. Honestly,
he never had
a lot of old people be hating on niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like we got to bridge this gap. Like we got to find a way for us and our community to come together. You would think it would be church, but let's be honest, not a lot of young people not in church.
Yeah.
because a lot of old people act like their ass always been saved. Or if you seen, I done an interview with our pastor Johnny Johnson. I asked him that question. Hey man, have you always been saved? He's like, nah.
Yeah, I
Okay,
saw that on here.
we got to spread that real. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk to them about some real shit instead of when you see him, man, pull your clothes up. He probably need to pull his clothes up, but let me talk to him about something else. And then once we get talking, I'll slide that in. Hey, young brother, if you want me to take you serious, man, you know, you can do that. But it's like if all you got to tell me is pull my clothes up.
Well, here's the problem I see. How do you get in there when they're in a moldable stage? And that's
You gotta get
where
in the schools when they're young.
the home structure collapse causes a problem. Because by the time you see them in the street, they've gone in some directions that'll be very hard to reverse. They may have gotten something on their record or whatever. They used to, if people didn't have a direction or whatever, they would say, go to the military.
Yeah.
But now some of them have stuff on their records that keep them from having that as an option.
And then I know people too that they only went to the military to stay out the penitentiary.
Yeah, yeah. But you know, it's hard if the family structure has exploded to get to the people when they're in a malleable stage or can be influenced and molded. They'll look at me and say, "Hey, man, uh, what you doing? How you get that car or whatever?" And I said, "I bought it." You bought it. You know, it was a concept of a black person ain't supposed to have this or that. And I hate when I hear that because that means that they've determined that they deserve less than their other counterpart. And until you can get that in their head that they deserve everything everybody else deserves, then it's hard for them to see beyond what they experience. So, lack of exposure to examples is one of the worst things ever. Because if you can't see beyond what you're exposed to every day,
Come on, man.
you can't want
That make you a product of your
what
environment.
you know what you need to achieve. So you just see what you see here. You see what you see on that street. You see what the people are doing that are driving around, whether they're selling dope or whatever they're doing. That's the environment you're accustomed to. And you don't that old saying, you don't know what you don't know is a problem. You know, and when I got from down here, you know, I saw people doing things and I said, well, I can do that too. It might take me a little while, but I can do it. I never said I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And I never felt that I wasn't deserving of it. If you don't think you deserve it, you'll never get it.
Never.
Because you're not trying to.
Yeah, yeah.
Your mind ain't even thinking about it.
No, no. And I don't know, man. It's a tough problem. And I always say that my upbringing, I couldn't duplicate it for a young person because I grew up in a rural area. I wasn't worried about any crime or anything happening while I was out during the day. It was just different. But on the other hand, my parents, my father had a sixth grade education. My mother graduated high school. So it wasn't like I had these role models that had achieved all this stuff.
They had work ethic back
They have, yeah, they worked. They took care of their family, and they told us we can do whatever we need to do. We can be whatever we need to be. And even though they didn't have the opportunity, because they had barriers I don't never even thought about, you know.
They spoke life into you though.
Yeah, yeah,
They spoke life into you at home.
yeah, yeah.
As
So-
a child, you heard all these affirmations of how great you could be
Yeah,
from your parents.
yeah,
That's it kind of go back to what we're saying now. Like it started at home.
yeah,
It start with the okay, back on.
yeah. So you know, it's a hard climb. There's got to be a way to reach everybody. It's just a tough puzzle, man. I don't want to see people dead ended all the time. Um, but then on the other hand,
You don't
I
want to
don't
be
I,
dead in it either.
I don't have a magic pill. It's a societal thing because some of our ways of thinking sometimes the two parent household to some folks is a myth or it feels like a sucker move. You know, I don't understand the concept of having kids and just moving on and having another one somewhere else and then having another one with somebody else without.
What you say, boy? We live in a trick culture.
Yeah,
Uh, it's we been tricked so much, man, that we make this shit look so good. They think we like it. The
yeah,
trap house. Niggas still in that motherfucker selling dope, and they tell you the name of it is a trap
yeah,
house.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we've been tricked, man, and getting us back on track is gonna be hard. But I think stuff like what we doing right now, especially here on Political Street Talk, we do a community spotlight award. Once again, y'all nominate some people, inbox us on somebody in the community doing some excellent things. But we have to acknowledge and find like-minded people, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how it starts
yeah.
with us and what we doing right now, man. Because we got a young brother right. How old you, Josh?
27.
We got a 27-year-old man right here, man. He ain't here for this not coincidental. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
people be looking and they be talking like, man, political street talk starting to grow. And I tell them, man, that's because we end every show with a prayer, man. This shit real. This ain't just no podcast. It's a movement, man. This shit going on, man. It ain't no coincidence. We linked up with the brother right here, Mr. Danny Pollard. But I said that to say this. Look at how it works. We ain't gonna never get nowhere until we can unify on something.
Yeah,
And we started off this when we was talking about politics and we was talking about like the Democrat Republican. And boy, me and him been going back and forth for a while, man. But it's like it don't matter what it is, long as we going at each other. Until we unify. It don't matter, man. You said it best. They tell us it's race. It's not race, it's classism.
it's classism.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's haves and have nots. It's simple. Would I give away what I got to somebody else so they can have and then I don't have? No. So when I ask somebody else to do the same, I got to understand I got to be willing to go and get that shit if I want it.
Right.
But like you said too, it's gonna all go back to you getting this training from a little kid at home. It needs to be instilled in you. And me and Bob, we used to bump heads because he like, man, we need to homeschool these kids. And it's like, bro, the more and more shit we learn, you might be right, man. Because you see, like these people pulled a contract from Life Church because he was in the Epstein files. We
Hmm.
really don't have too much control of what's going on at these schools and really don't know.
Right. Right. Well, it's when I moved to a school with different authority figures, different teachers from, didn't look like me or whatever. And one day we had an assignment to review a TV show that night and write a report. So that night I watched All in the Family, and I wrote a report. The next day, two teachers pulled me into a room and said, "Who wrote this for you?" I said, "I wrote it myself." First of all, they never should have put me in the room by them, without my parents' knowledge,
Mhm.
but that kind of respect level just wasn't there at that point. I'm a
Just
black
the Nick
kid, they
boy.
just pulled me in the room. I said, "Well, I wrote it myself." So they said, "Hmm." Then they came back. "You need to enter the Reddit writing contest at the UIL." Okay. I went and entered it. And, got honorable mention or whatever, third place. I don't know what it was. But it was the idea that they never had an expectation of somebody looking like me could actually produce
Something
something
like
like
that.
that without an adult having written it for me. And,
They
you
give
know,
you a topic and want you to write on it right then so you
yeah,
can see.
yeah. When you go to the competition, they throw a topic out there and everybody just write it right then.
Yeah.
And so it's we had a few other black kids that were excelling, but it wasn't many. And one year I went and they put me in a class with my buddies. And my buddies spoke up and said, "Why is he in this class? He shouldn't be in this class. He should be in another class." They went down to the principal's office and checked, and then they took me out there and put me in other classes. You know, because they warehouse some of our kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, that's kind of the lay of the land. I don't. Sometimes I think back and say, "Am I 67?" Because my mind doesn't feel 67. You know, and when I'm doing my content, I'm doing it for now, not for a long time ago.
Okay, check this out. Uh, where do you see your content going in the near future? And make sure you let the people know where they can find your stuff at.
Well, I see my content continuing the way it is, and but I want to drill down on, and I've been trying to drill down on the fact that we're all in this together. And I always come back to, this is not a contest between ethnicities and races. I don't have to prosper at your expense.
Yeah.
This is the United States of America. There's enough out here for everybody to prosper. And don't get sold on this zero sum game of, there's only so much of this. And if you take some of it, I don't have it because you took it from me. And that's how they seduce these people into voting a certain way, into hating a certain way.
Yeah.
Running a
And
rat race every day.
yeah, rat race every day. If they, as long as they can keep people at each other, then they can do whatever they want. So people got to come together, come out of the corners, come out of the red and blue, and they got to get out of this, what I call video game mentality of keeping scores. Oh, that's one of your guys in the file. That's one of our guys in the file. Who cares? If they did something wrong, get them, take them down, issue the punishment. I don't care if they Democrat, Republican, Independent, or have no affiliation. Most of these folks' affiliation is money.
Yeah.
They don't really care about the party. The party is just a tool to get where they want to go. Because the people down at our level, as I'm walking through the grocery store, everybody's staring at the price of whatever it is. Sometimes they get it, sometimes they put it back, and then they'll go get a cheaper option if they can. But we are all in the same boat. That old saying about we came over here on different ships, but we're in the same boat now. We're in the same boat. And if you fighting when you're in the same boat, you're not gonna go anywhere. Plus, you might knock a hole in the boat and sink. So we all got to start moving in the same direction. And my content is going to continue to try to open up eyes and reveal things that people don't normally see if they're watching television. Because right now, our network programming is not discussing anything. It just nibbles around the edges. And then you find most of the revealing content on social media. Now, I always verify what I see on social media because some people just throw something on there for clicks. It'll be absolutely garbage. And then you look it up, you can't find it anywhere except on social media. I said, no, that's not true. So I always verify, and a lot of times I will verify my articles by putting a clip of a news article, legitimate news article at the beginning. So people say, okay, this came from New York Times. I'll go ahead and take a look at it. But that's where it's going to go. I'll try to get into more social issues in the Black community, but so much of that stuff has been entertainment focused. Everybody's worried about what Cardi B and Nicki Minaj and all these people are doing if they having a beef and
Facts.
all that kind of stuff.
On purpose.
Yeah, I'm not. really interested in that. Plus, when I posted, they said, "Man, you too old to be posting about this." So I just say whatever. But every once in a while, I dip into it if something interesting comes along. But it's going to still be political. It's going to be news driven, event driven, and I'm not going to pull any punches on what I talk about. I'm going to do it within the bounds because some of this stuff I see on here is I don't see how they're still allowed on a site. You know, the language, the exposing themselves and all kinds. I see a whole lot of that, you know, where people just getting cheap
Mhm.
thrills, cheap clicks, you know, and they build up a following, you know, because some people like that. So I'm gonna have to do it the old fashioned way with just knowledge.
Yeah. See that right there.
And you can find me at Danny Pollard. Just look up Danny Pollard on Facebook and come to my page, and you can hit my reels or whatever, and all my content's there.
Hey, boy, man, you know, it's getting kind of
Yeah.
late. Y'all, the parliament, I'm sorry, y'all, we didn't get a chance to tap in with y'all. Uh, boy, I'm gonna open it up to you, give it to you, man. If you want to read a couple of them, you got the flow.
Listen, y'all tune in next week. Um, I'm looking. I see two I wanted to read. Gorgeous Jones said we had a dry cleaners and a store in Washington in my old neighborhood of Crim Chris.
Yep, that's where it
Yep.
was. It was right across
Shout out to
from
Gorgeous for
Harlem
that.
Grove Church.
Shout out to Gorgeous for that. And also, shout out Derek Towns in the chat. What's up, D?
Yeah,
Also,
with the stars too.
David Bruce say my family history book says my folks was on a plantation in Georgia and was shipped to a plantation in Nacogdoches. Nacogdoches got plantations for sure. So you know your history. You know your family history. I encourage everybody in this East Texas area, try to find out your family history. You can go back 6, 7 generations right here in Russ County, and you will see slavery. Russ County, East Texas is one of the. This is why Juneteenth is so big here, because this was the part where a lot of the niggas was free, and some of them it wasn't the fact that they didn't know. Some of them was like, "We free." Shit, I'm just gonna just stay here if I get. We just gonna stay on the plantation. They was free, but they chose to stay. But anyway, I'm just kind of rambling now. But the point I'm trying to make here is thank y'all for tuning in to Political Street Talk. I heard a lot of this on the show tonight.
Yeah,
University of Memphis. A lot of your story seemed like it was already written because of you had your mind made up or you were intentional about the direction you wanted your life
Yeah.
to go.
Yeah.
You were very intentional. That's what this book is about, man. Also, please tell the audience again where to find your books.
My book's on Amazon.com. Go on Amazon.com and search D space T space Pollard. They all come up.
Great to have another author in the chat. Also, be sure to pick up my brother's book, D.L. Reed, Sick, Tired, and Overweight, for anybody that needs to hear a real life testimonial about somebody that transformed their life physically. All right. And y'all know how we do it. Any closing remarks before we go? Because you really
Thanks
came
for
in.
dialing in and listening.
These are the kind of shows I like too, because I get to sit back and just soak up some information. I go back and soak this up right here because he laid a whole bunch of data out. Y'all know how we do it. This is the closing. We always end in a prayer. It's not a show, it's a real life thing. So here we go, y'all. Father God, first of all, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for waking me up this morning. Thank you for waking us up this morning. Thank you for your guidance, your protection, and your direction. Please just continue to watch over our family, our friends, our loved ones. Continue to just give us these brilliant ideas so that we can manifest these in real life. Thank you for what you're done doing and for what you're about to do. In the name of the Most High God, we just say amen.
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 Listen, y'all. Political Street Talk, once again, is not just a podcast. This is a movement, man. We a family, man. Shout out to Political Street Talk Quita, man. We had such a great interview today, man, that we went over on our her agenda, man. You know what I'm saying? But y'all make sure y'all tap in with her other page too, man. It's h.e.r.agenda, man. Her agenda. And man, y'all tap into that, man. We got Josh Maps, man. What is it? Back in, how you see it?
Back in, baby.
Back in, baby, man. Behind the scenes, man. Doing great work. Y'all make sure y'all go to that YouTube. Put that YouTube in the chat.
Shout out to Miss Pollard behind the scenes.
Yeah, man, working that camera, man,
Yes.
and making sure, you know what I'm saying?
Again, man, I just want to point out too, I love this. I love the dynamic. It shows that it's success inside of the man-woman dynamic when they work together. This is what is produced. So be sure to tap into his stream so y'all can see what's going on. She working with him. Just want to point that out.
And then our other political street talk, Jalen Grant, man, y'all tap in with him on the train. He doing training lessons for your kids too. But tonight's show was sponsored and brought to you by 903 Queen Creation. That's who do our political street talk apparel, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can tap in with that and get you some of this merchandise, you know what I'm saying, as well. But once again, political street talk, baby. Y'all tap in next week, man. We signing up.
Get us a picture right quick.